It is May 30th, 2024. For a long time we have not had frost, but tonight there's a very good chance that we will have frost. So as I take a walk around my garden, you will see various assets ready for deployment later in the day. Here are some replacements that I have ready to go in the worst case. There's some tomatoes there, some sweet potato, peppers, and loofahs, and lettuces and so on. They're already there, but they're nowhere as good as the stuff that's already planted out. Last night it went down to about 4 degrees by the house, and that will mean that out in the hoop house here it would go down to about 2, and then down there in the garden it would go down to about 0. There was no damage last night that I can see. Everything was uncovered, but there's stuff ready to go here for tonight, when we're supposed to be at least 2 to 3, maybe even 4 degrees lower than it was last night. So good risk that some of my beautiful tomatoes here will be severely impacted by the low temperature. So I'm putting together my assets as best I can. Those 3 pots at the back there are special. They are peach tomatoes, which I'm hoping will grow into even better plants than they are already. I've got my usual collection of small fruiting, large fruiting, and medium fruiting tomatoes. One tomato was clobbered last night by a cutworm. I replaced him. This is the one that got replaced. It's not as good as the ones that have been out already, but there you go. The cutworm is now dead and gone. There may have been some damage on my sweet potatoes that I have planted out already. Specifically this guy here. He looks a bit sad and droopy. I think he might have been badly affected, but then I've got lots of replacements for cuttings of sweet potatoes, so I'm not really too concerned about that. This is a thought experiment. I was wondering if I could use an upside down tomato cage and then wrapping a newspaper around it, top and sides. We'll see. That'll be a last ditch experiment. But let's go down into the garden. Even though the temperature was so low down here last night, I don't see any damage this morning. The squashes and the potatoes would have shown some kind of damage, but I don't think they were affected. Maybe the cool temperature just didn't last quite long enough. There was no ice on the barrels or anything like that. Garlic is looking good. Maybe in about 2 or 3 weeks we will get some garlic scapes. I should be weeding out my chives. I will come back to the potato experiment later on. There's detail to explain about that. Rhubarb is excellent as usual. I have finished cutting the asparagus, and now allowing the lines to establish themselves even more strong than they were before. More weeding to be done here. The willow is producing some nice long shoots. That's good. I've got some side shoots to get rid of there. A couple of lines of carrots coming along. Most of the weeding involves pulling lamb's quarters, which I can use as a green vegetable. I sowed my arugula too thick, didn't I? So they are fighting hard in the middle here, but the ones at the edges are okay because they have more access to nutrients. The onions are not able to look after themselves with regard to weeds, so I had to spend some time on that yesterday. Peas are looking good. They also need weeding desperately. I planted out some zucchini, some buttercup and butternut squash plants. They are still quite small. They were not affected by the frost last night, by the cold, I should say, not the frost. So I've got some pots ready to protect those zucchinis, and we'll be putting down old clothes, sheets and so on to cover up those guys there, because I think they would be definitely clobbered by the cold that's coming tonight. That's what I'm assuming, I'm predicting. I might be wrong, but if I am, then at least I'm on the safe side. Now, as for these potatoes, a couple of things to note. The first two rows over here are from my own saved seed potatoes, which were extremely small, which I attempted to force in the spring. That would be russets and Yukon Gold. They are not coming along as quickly as I thought they would, but then we will think about that. It may have to do with dormancy or something like that. These two lines here are from shoots, sprouts that appeared on my purchased potatoes from the store. I attempted to grow them into plants to plant out. I did that. They've survived quite well for the last couple of weeks, but they've made no real shocking progress. So, well, we'll see whether they can catch up later in the year. Now, what is perhaps more interesting is that there are some potatoes that have appeared here. There's a couple there, there's one over there, there's one here that's appeared, there's one there, a couple over there. These are all volunteers from 2 years ago. There were potatoes here, and when I dug them, I must have missed a few small ones, and they grew potatoes last year unattended, died away again, went dormant, and came back the next spring again. So there they are. They will be encouraged. They will probably be Yukon Gold and russets, but I'll find that out later on. So basically, that's the immediate plan right now. Protect from the frost tonight, and then once that is done, probably for the next 2 nights, I'll have to be careful. I'll plant some more gladioli, I've put in 1, 2, and there will be a final third planting of gladioli coming back from corms from 2 years ago. The Brussels sprouts, which are new this year, are looking very good. I will take great care of them, but they are a cold weather crop, so they won't mind the cold. This is a line of tarragon, which I managed to save before they all died away. Good. Volunteer gladiolus over there from previous year. A couple of days ago I saw a groundhog in the garden here, but he's not returned, as far as I can tell. So evidently he didn't find anything yet that was of any great interest for him to hang around. So there you go. Busy night tonight, probably won't get much sleep, but then you do what you can to protect your babies, right? Thank you for watching. Bye.